is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. What time is it? Game time. Going beast mode when the game begin. I worked all summer to be a champion. At Venice High School, all we do is win. Man, it feel good to be an Indian.
And welcome to this week's edition of the John Peacock Coaches Show. I'm John Massoni here with Venice Indian head football coach John Peacock. And, Coach, here we stand where we'd hoped we'd be when everything started early in the year against Gadsden County in the Kickoff Classic, heading towards Miami to play Lake Mary for a state championship after a big victory at Powell Davis Stadium, the last football game at that version of Powell Davis Stadium, a 33-27 victory over Miami Columbus.
Yeah, Columbus did a heck of a job.
Yeah,
they had a
good
game plan. They played very well on both sides of the ball, and they gave us everything we wanted.
No doubt, and you had said before the game that they were balanced and disciplined and all those things you'd want to get out of a football team, and they're 100% exactly what it was. They weren't showy. They had athletes. They had guys who could make plays. And another thing I thought was very interesting is that you mentioned that they had two quarterbacks and they were kind of mimics of each other in some way, and they were. I think
if they didn't have numbers on, you wouldn't be able to tell.
No, I think number 12 was a little bit maybe a little better runner, but I can't tell you that for sure. Maybe whatever he and they were there. You could have plugged and played either one of them at any time, and they were very good at that. So that was unique in that sense. But we made more plays when it came right down to it. I think the turnovers for them probably were something that hurt them a little bit. We had a couple as well, but I think that hurt them. And then sometimes it comes down to special teams again, and I think a lot of special teams was a valuable part of what happened with Venice on Friday night.
Yeah, Bruno Royce did a great job. Made some unbelievable kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Did it 4 times in a row. I
Yep.
mean, they weren't little short kicks. He had 2 45-yarders and a 35-yarder.
41-yarder and a 35-yarder. That was a little bit not this best kick, but still delivered on that one as well.
Yeah, so he delivered, man. He stepped up when we called his number, and I'm sure glad he did because it helped out.
No doubt. 8 for 8 on touchbacks this time. He was 100% in the end zone with that, which again is a give Miami Columbus credit. They had a couple 80-yard drives.
Yeah.
And so that's when having to do that over and over again gets really difficult. And then of course at the end of the game, with time running out, needed to get a punt off, and that's always a precarious situation.
He did a
and he
heck of a
puts
job
it inside
there.
the 5 and making it almost impossible for them to get to kind of make that last-ditch effort to get a comeback. So, yeah, but that's great at how it all worked out. Couple good returns as well on the other side. They kicked to us.
Yep.
So that was a complete win against a very complete football team.
Yeah, like we talked about before the game, you got to win 2 of the 3 battles, and then you're going to probably win the game. And we definitely won the special teams game. And I would say we were pretty even offense and defense.
Yeah.
Both teams played well. They had a great game plan offensively, and they had a great game plan defensively. They gave us more problems than anybody has so far.
It's kind of a shame that their program is what, back-to-back state champions in the 4M classification, and then won another state championship the year before we played them in the state semifinals, I believe, or that was a COVID year, I believe. But nonetheless, I know there's been a lot of them in a row, and for whatever reason, they're not flashy. They don't get a lot of recognition for being one of the top programs in the area down there.
Yeah, no, they won back-to-back 4Ms, and they lost to us in the state semifinals in 21.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and they won another one within that time frame before 2018. But they're a very well coached football team. Like you said, they're not real flashy, but they seem to get the job done. They don't really blow teams out.
But that's one of those things like where you look at it and it's like something advancing in a certain way,
right?
And you almost you have to kind of stop it or move it off track.
Right.
That maybe you can't stop it, but you can maybe get it sidetracked for a bit, take advantage of a couple opportunities, and that's exactly what happened. So again, now we move on to the biggest game you can play, state championship game. So let's do this. Let's thank Bogies first for once again week 15, 16 for us. I think 16.
Yeah.
So week 16 here at Bogies, and thanking them as always for being our host for the John Peacock Coaches Show. And tonight was the night. Tonight you can see it. I'm looking around. I'm seeing some very pale-looking faces of people coming in from parts unknown for maybe an early Christmas vacation. And again, you're seeing a lot of. We had to fight for a little space tonight.
Yeah, we had to wait. We're on a waiting list tonight.
No doubt. So that's all good for them, and we appreciate all their help as well. We'll take a break, come back, do the highlights from the game against Miami Columbus, and then we'll obviously preview what's going to happen on this Saturday coming up at 12:30. Be right back here at Bogies and the John Peacock Coaches Show right after this.
Thank you to our 2024 sponsors, Jenkins Chevrolet, the Hupp Group, Venice Pest Control, Sarasota Ford, Tervis Tumbler, Absolute Aluminum.
Last, we'll have to thank SCF, State College of Florida, Lightning Fast Car Wash, Bogies of Venice, and Chick-fil-A in Pelican Plaza.
Education, career, future. Find yours right here at the State College of Florida. If you want a flexible schedule with classes offered on campus and online, plus several program options for in-demand fields, look no further. Create your own path today at scf.edu.
And we're back here at Bogies with the John Peacock Coach Show. And, Coach, I know there's got to be a lot of good highlights, and I would probably assume there's probably some field goals being shown on this highlight reel.
That might be the majority of them.
There we go. No doubt about that. Let's go ahead and get those highlights started.
So they came out and scored right away, but we made them work.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
You know, there was I thought we played the run very well all night, but we did make them work for everything. There was no real big chunk plays.
They were very good on third down. They did a good job of getting some just like that. You needed 5, you got 7 kind of thing.
Here's the first field goal by Bruno. You know, we got down there and I think we had a penalty, and it ended up being 4th and 9, and just decided we had to get those 3 points. It was a nice play there by Ashari, a tackle for loss. And then
there's the fumble.
we were able to come up with a fumble. That was their one big miscue they had.
We ended up. That's the one that the 35-yard. If you see the tail end of that ball just barely got over the goal post.
Yeah, he hit one of them kind of strange. Then we had a nice interception by Borelli. They gave us the ball back. They tried to go up top there, and he did a nice job. There's a nice catch by Winston. And get the first down. He had a big night. Had 7 catches for like 80 yards.
He did, and they did a good job dropping. The linebackers dropped really well in pass coverage.
Yeah, they
were
did
good.
a nice job. And then
here's a 45-yarder.
Yeah, there's one of the 45-yarders.
And he kicks it. It's like he knows it.
Yeah,
there's no doubt about it.
And that put us up 9-7, which
in the first quarter.
Yeah.
So not 3 field goals in a row, in moving the ball, but not just kind of a few things short track this a little bit there.
Dylan Bryant with a nice play. We were almost able to come up with a goal line stop here, but they were able to score. And like you mentioned before, we did a really nice job. We did a good job in our return game. You'll see Winston almost breaks it here, and you'll see Malachi Corbett has a nice return later. So
definitely with the field position, it helped us at this part of the game.
Ryan Matulovic had a big night. I think he had like 5 catches for another 70, 80 yards.
Yeah, something close to that, yes.
Winston had a nice contested catch there on the sideline for a first down.
Another one right there.
We didn't have our best game on offense, especially not scoring those when we got in the red zone and kicking settle for field goals. You see Winston here. This is our first touchdown. So this makes it. What does it make it?
That makes it 16-13, I believe.
16-13. I think we're winning the halftime leading, or were we behind?
We were leading.
We were leading 16-13.
Yep.
Correct.
And we got the ball to start the second half as well.
And then we ended up throwing an interception to start the second half when we got down here a little bit farther. Is that correct?
Yeah. No, actually, the score was
field goal.
Yeah,
we
that's it.
Field goal.
Right.
Another 45-yard field goal.
And that made it 19-13.
Right. And that was before half.
Correct.
Yes.
Because he kicked all 4.
I remember we were up 19-14. We're up 5 points at half, I believe.
Look, they went for 2 at one point. I forget which one at part of the game, but they did go for 2. Again, another good rhythm. And when he's in rhythm, when Jace is in rhythm, especially with both the 2 outside guys, it's you're going to pick up some good chunks of yardage on that. Once you get into D-line, Dylan Bryant had a great game too. He had a very
all up. This is a big 4th down stop by Tanner Rue. We actually had him in the backfield, let him go, and Tanner stepped up and made a big stop on 4th down.
See, that might have been it because this is the play that breaks it open.
Yeah, this is kind of the run that kind of broke the seal here.
Because it was coming. You felt like it was going to happen, and then Gator busted 62 yards, and then you're off and running from there.
Yeah, we were one or two guys away all night, and finally got able to break one. But you see how well we played the run.
That play right there was you see, Ashari busted up, and there's Arkowitz to make the tackle.
Right. But we made a lot of tackles and tackles for loss and a lot of no gain plays. You can see right there, Landon Marsters makes a good play, good hustle play. This is Kisovic with a nice breakup.
Definitely, because that was a nice play, and then they did score on that one.
And this is Malachi's return. He nearly breaks it, but has a nice return, gets us in great field position after they score. And right here, you'll see Dorian gets a touchdown a little bit later. He had a face mask there. They kind of missed.
I think it's the next play. As a matter of fact,
he
he
scores
went
right
from
here.
10, and you can see right here he was going to bust one in a minute, and he finally got it when they needed it the most. And that made it 33-20 at that point.
Yeah, and we kind of were feeling pretty good about ourselves. We had a little bit over 3 minutes left. We made them use up a lot of clock, and then Malachi Corbett does a great job of recovering this ball again.
That darn bouncing ball.
He's so dependable in everything that he does. And then here's Bruno's punt here at the very end of the game. I think they had maybe 20, 25 seconds maybe left.
Yep, and the guy, I can't blame him for not fielding it, but when it stopped at the 5, you knew it was trouble after that.
Yeah, it was going to be tough work. And then
this is the last play.
We put Winston and we put Ryan Matulovic in, and Winston comes up with an interception here to seal the deal, and that was it. And we're off to the state championship.
Off to the state championship for sure. So 33-27 final score. Miami Columbus Explorers come in to give us a heck of a game, but we're on past that now, and we're moving forward towards what is always the ultimate goal to get to this game, and of course winning it is the ultimate goal of the whole idea behind it. But going forward, looking back a little bit, which you don't, it's got to be a nice look back to see that what you've been trying to do all year has sort of been going the path you wanted to go on. You're getting better and better, better and better, that kind of thing, and hopefully that can culminate into what you're hoping on Saturday.
Yeah, obviously the goal was to win a state championship, not just to get there. And we've set ourselves up to where we want to be as far as we established home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
And that's kind of what I was getting at. You kind of got your goals.
And now we got home field. I guess the home field advantages at the state championship game, meaning we're going to be in the home locker room and you get to wear your solid colors, I guess. But the main focus right now is to make sure that we're not content with just making it here, and not that it's not an accomplishment, not that we haven't achieved some things, but of course we have. But I think at the end of the day, if we go down to Miami and we don't get the job done, we're gonna be a laughingstock.
Yeah.
And people are not going to talk about how well our program has played and how good our program is. We're going to be talked about. We're the losers. We go down every year and lose.
Right. And that's not a label you want, and no matter who you are. And so that's the thing. I guess one of the questions I had for you as well is physically preparing the team is a major part of what happens in a game like this, because there can be a lot of things running through your head as a 15 to 18-year-old or whatever it may be. How much of what you're going to do for in preparation is on the mental side of it a little bit? There's got to be a little bit more, maybe more preparation for this from that perspective.
Well, we're going to have an extra day of practice for one. We don't leave until Friday, but we're going to practice at the school Friday, eat there, and then head to Miami and basically have a meeting and go to bed and wake up and play football. My job is to make sure that their environment is conducive of winning a football game.
Right.
And there's a lot of distractions that come along when you're playing for a state championship.
Absolutely.
there's all these articles and there's all these news reporters that want to do an article and come down and talk, and then you have cameras out at practice, and there's talk on social media, and
His family, you
Yeah.
name it. When they go home, what else are
Right.
you talking about?
and everybody's wanting to pat you on the back, and our job is to win the game, and my message to the players is we got to be really locked in, and we got to focus on we got to win this week in practice,
right.
and not focus on everyone wants to talk about a ring now. Before it was we're going to get to the state championship. Now it's everyone wants to talk about we're going to get a ring, let's worry about winning tomorrow.
It's a football game, no matter what
Right.
it is, and that's the thing. So in the little, like I said, it's all these little things that pile up. It's a Saturday game. It's 12:30 in the afternoon. It's all these little things
A lot
that-
of different things happening.
right. And as coaches, there's experience behind all that, but it's trying to relay that experience to this version of the Venice Indian football team.
And fortunately, we have a bunch of kids that have been on 2 state championship losing teams.
Right.
A bunch of them. So I think they're
It's got to be burning them up.
ready to, change what's happening as well.
Yeah. Sometimes, and maybe sometimes it's freeing to get to where you want to.
Redeem yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you may play freer than you would be playing tight in
Right.
some cases, but nonetheless, for you, for all your coaches. There's got to be some challenges in regard to that, because it's just a different situation.
Yeah, of course. We want to try to keep it as normal as possible. Keep the distractions to a minimum. Everything down to the warm up is going to be different because you got to go by their schedule, and we're going to be in the locker room later than we usually are.
Right.
You're going to be off the field after you warm up earlier than you used to being off the field. So,
And a new facility. Not to rehash something from last year, but we didn't know we were going to walk into, and there was a tent up for one of the other team, and there was this and that going on.
Yeah, exactly.
Teams coming in and out at the same time.
Yeah. So kind of thing here, we don't know what's the locker room going to be like.
Don't know.
Right.
You could ask somebody, they might tell you, but until you're there, you
Right.
just don't know. That kind of thing. Fortunately, I think the weather's going to be fantastic. That's another part of it.
Yeah, they said 75. I mean, can't beat that, right?
Yeah, you could ask for more than that in a situation, because it could have been. You never know. This is December in Florida. You get these weird cold fronts coming through. You might get a little hot or a little this, but I think the weatherman is going to be a.
So it might be a little windy.
Well,
Windy,
that's all right.
We're good with that. Windy and 75. That's
Well,
perfect.
it took me a long time to realize this, but we have a lot of wind at our field in Venice
We
High
do.
School.
We do.
Even if it's a nice night, like,
Yeah.
darn, it's windy.
Yeah.
And I think seeing Bruno kick off and having to go have a struggle sometimes to get into
Yeah.
the end zone going into the west side of the stadium, and that's where the wind prevails most of the time. It was like I said, that's there's something about that for sure.
Yeah. No, we fight the wind every Friday.
Well, that's the part of living on the water. You're going to get that Gulf breeze. So with that, let's take a break. We'll come back and let's talk specifically about a little bit what Lake Mary brings to the game on Saturday, and what preparation we're going to do to take care of that. With that, we'll take a break. Be back here on the John Peacock Coaches Show right after this.
Thank you to our 2024 sponsors, Jenkins Chevrolet, the Hupp Group, Venice Pest Control, Sarasota Ford, Tervis Tumbler, Absolute Aluminum.
Last, I'd like to thank SCF, State College of Florida, Lightning Fast Car Wash, Bogies of Venice, and Chick-fil-A in Pelican Plaza.
Education, career, future. Find yours right here at the State College of Florida. If you want a flexible schedule with classes offered on campus and online, plus several program options for in-demand fields, look no further. Create your own path today at scf.edu.
And we're back here at Bogies in the John Peacock Coaches Show. And Coach, before I forget, you went different again tonight. So that was good. You went quesadilla.
Yeah, quesadilla Philly cheesesteak.
It looked good.
It was good.
I know. I guess sometimes I get envious of another
it was
person's
good.
plate. I went burger. I went something simple tonight. Just felt like a burger. So, but they do make, again, food's been fantastic.
Yeah,
the
they do
menu
make good
change. If you
burgers.
guys haven't been here a few months, been a menu change and obviously a change of scenery as well here. So come on down to Bogies. We're getting into the we got college football playoffs starting soon. Got bowl season starting real quick. So great place to watch a game. now it's games on Friday afternoon or Thursday afternoon.
Right.
So come on down, maybe grab some lunch and watch a few ball games here at Bogies. So, Coach, Saturday, 12:30, FIU, their field, Pit Bull Stadium. You get Lake Mary, who I think when you as a high school football fan, which I think we both are, we have specifics. We've noticed Lake Mary been right there, number 2 or number 3, 7A, the whole
kind of always competing against Seminole.
Absolutely, and they had to run through their teams and played always a perennial power in Dr. Phillips last week. How do they look? What do we can expect offensively, defensively from Lake Mary?
Well, everyone talks about the quarterback first, Noah Grubbs, who's a Notre Dame commit. He does a really, really good job of getting rid of the ball, knowing where he's going with the ball. He has been sacked very, very few times. I've heard it's 3. I don't have every film, but
right.
No one ever gets to him. That's because he knows where he's going with the ball and he gets rid of the ball quickly. But I think one of their biggest weapons and kind of the guy that makes it all work is their running back, Isaiah Thomas. His name is Isaiah Thomas, and he's a number 4. He's a really strong runner, fast. He makes really good cuts. He knows where to hit the hole. And I just really been impressed watching film on him. He's just really done a nice job. Does a good job out of the backfield catching the ball. And they have four receivers that they kind of spread the ball around to. There isn't one guy that truly stands out as far as stats go. There is a guy that has a little bit better stats,
right.
It's not mind blowing compared to the rest of them.
Right.
He spreads the ball around. Very well coached. That's all I can tell you is they're very well coached on offense. They have a very nice offensive passing scheme, and he does a nice job reading it. As far as defensively, they are always where they're supposed to be. They're tough. They may be a little undersized or a little smaller than what we've seen in the past, but there's no lack of toughness.
Right. Sometimes you say undersized. When you play IMG.
That's what I'm saying.
You're seeing monsters. Big guys. And it's kind of hard to compare.
They don't really have any monsters.
Right.
They have big guys that look like they've been in the weight room.
Right.
That maybe not be. They might not be 6'5", but you can tell they've been in the weight room. They do a really nice job of getting off blocks and getting to the ball. They're always where they're supposed to be. They're very well coached. They run a cover 4 show. They do a nice job of not letting anybody behind them. So a lot of the stuff over top. We're probably going to have to have a different game plan as far as that goes. But overall, you'll see a disciplined team, very disciplined, close to how Columbus was, how they were disciplined.
Right.
And coached the same, well coached like Columbus. They're not going to do anything to hurt themselves. Quarterback doesn't give you the ball very often. I think he may have 5 or 6 picks on the year.
Yep.
But they throw the ball off a lot. So Jace has 5 picks.
Right.
And he hardly ever turns the ball over. So that's how few turnovers he has. So
yeah. No, and you said a couple last week. Hey, when you get to the Final Four, you're not going to find teams that are sloppy or badly coached. So it's not surprising that you're sort of giving a similar game plan or a similar an evaluation of what Lake Mary is what Miami Columbus was. And I think that's what everybody sees at those certain levels. Some of the teams we've played are in the state championship, and you can probably say the same thing about them.
Right.
With Miami Northwestern, team that turned it around a lot this year, and then Cocoa as well. They're in the state championship.
We have 4 teams in the state championship that we played.
Yeah. So
and then takes IMG, who would be in the state championship if they were allowed.
Right.
So we literally had 5 people on our schedule that are playing for a state championship.
And so again, that those kind of teams, they are hard to play against. Because they're going to give you, they're going to put you in spots where they're going to say, oh, he's there.
Not going to beat themselves.
That guy wasn't supposed to be there. In terms of this, and being able to sort of adjust and adapt. And this is the time of the year where your philosophy of sort of the sudden change. Now every play could be a sudden change. All of a sudden, hey, that person, nobody's never there. Now they are. Well, how am I going to react to this?
Right.
Do I do this? So a lot of that has to come into play with what you guys do. All right, so with that, we'll take another break, finish up this version of the John Peacock Coaches Show. I'll get it out. A little too much caffeine in that, I guess. My tongue got twisted. But anyway, be back here. We'll wrap it up from Bogies right after this.
Thank you to our 2024 sponsors, Jenkins Chevrolet, the Hupp Group, Venice Pest Control, Sarasota Ford, Tervis Tumbler, Absolute Aluminum.
Last, we'll have to thank SCF, State College of Florida, Lightning Fast Car Wash, Bogies of Venice, and Chick-fil-A in Pelican Plaza.
Education, career, future. Find yours right here at the State College of Florida. If you want a flexible schedule with classes offered on campus and online, plus several program options for in-demand fields, look no further. Create your own path today at scf.edu.
And we're back here on the John Peacock Coaches Show. And, Coach, real quick, I'm just making sure we had the right stuff before we got back here with NFH Network. If you have done the NFHS Network through the playoffs, you're good to go because they're going to be doing the game.
Yeah, so if you subscribed already through Vibrant Aspect Media through the NFHS,
It's tough to say.
you're good. You're good. You'll be able to get the game. If not, you can subscribe probably for $15 or $20 to watch the game.
It's worth it, and because it's going to be get a bunch of people to watch the game.
Let's get down here.
Yeah.
Let's get down here and cheer us on and just help us out.
It's a Saturday afternoon in Miami.
Yeah, it's going to be
drive's
beautiful
gonna be nice.
weather. It's at 12:30, so we have plenty of time to wake up, get there, and then you can drive back that night.
I brag about Venice being able to travel so much. Let's get that happening once again. Any final words you want to wrap things up with? Anything you want to say?
Well, I want to wrap up with that. I mean, let's get everyone that watches this show, get about 10 people, and let's get them down there.
Yeah.
Let's get them down there and give us a little advantage as far as our crowd and cheer these kids on and hopefully celebrate a victory.
We need everybody to be there in full voice.
Yes.
It's a really cool thing when you're on the field. I might be in the press box, wherever it may be, and you hear that roar. And it sounds awesome.
Yes.
It sounds great. And I think those kids really appreciate it. And I know it's inspiring as well. So with that, Coach, be back here next week with smiles.
Back here next week. Hopefully it'll be the Christmas version of the Coaches Show.
Presents for everybody.
Yeah.
All right, with that, we'll close it up for tonight. For John Peacock, I'm John Massoni. Thanks for joining us on John Peacock Coach Show tonight. See you here next week.
What time is it? Game time. 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 Going beast mode when the game begin. I worked all summer to be a champion. At Venice High School, all we do is win. Man, it feel good to be an Indian.